Speaking of young coaches, now the situation of the Kings is kind of in relation to where you were talking about with just a player or just an older coach not really knowing how to communicate with a younger player. It seems like Mike Brown was trying to motivate De'Aaron Fox, and of course his extension is coming up, and he already kind of rejected it, and the
Yeah.
Kings are probably scared. But Doug Christie seems like he's motivating these guys. So yeah, here's De'Aaron Fox kind of speaking on Mike Brown, and it seems like he has very little sympathy for Mike Brown's firing.
As a player, like when something happens like this, any pressure or guilt you feel when something big happens, like
Pressure or guilt?
like when somebody gets fired, do you feel like from a player standpoint?
I mean, obviously, we all know the job that we have. You can be traded at any point, released, cut, fired, whatever it may be. I mean, I wouldn't use the word guilt, but that's the nature of the job that we have. But I mean, obviously, him signing his extension this summer, we felt like we'd be together, a whole lot longer. But that's the decision that they made. But at the end of the day, too, he's still getting paid. It's a great part of being an NBA player, being an NBA coach is those things can happen, but these contracts are guaranteed. So
My man De'Aaron Fox found a way to get the blame off of him. Cause it's like the elephant in the room. Everybody knows, like,
Yeah, they
okay,
scapegoat him.
yeah, like he was trying. Everyone knows down there that Mike Brown was trying to motivate De'Aaron Fox, and now all of a sudden there's a clash, and he's gone.
I
But
think it was a catch with a lot of personnel. I don't think it's only him.
oh, you don't think it's only him?
Nah, because there was rumors that he wanted to bench DeMar.
Which he's right. He's right for that. He's right for that.
Yeah, but DeMar, you think DeMar would have went to like New Orleans, not New Orleans, Sacramento, if he knew that he'd be coming off the bench?
Yeah, that's something that they should have had discussion about. But again, it's probably a clash between the coach and the owners, because this happened before. This happened with Leon Rose and Tibbs about Cam Reddish.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they shipped him away for Josh Hart, and then we seen how that played out. But Tibbs was right about that, but there clearly was a clash. And the only thing with Sacramento, man, the owner, it just seems like, he has a long history just with that organization, just them not really knowing which way to go. And sometimes,
Yeah.
like you said, going back to what you were saying with the coaching issues and some of the players, I think there's a generational shift also, because even Pat Riley kind of spoke about it, where he was like, oh, like this week, Pat Riley went on a press conference with Dan Lebitard, and he kind of
Yeah.
like showed the human side of him, because he doesn't want players to think that, Miami's a hard-nosed place where they have very little sympathy for you. You could carry a team like Jimmy Butler to the finals and they'll have no respect for you. So he kind of like humanized himself a little bit, and he admitted that today's players, he can't coach or approach them the same way that he did with players of the past. So
No, he can't, bro. Like, you remember back in the day, the way he was able to trade Shaq? When Shaq became a problem for him, he traded him as soon as possible to Phoenix. You can't do that shit anymore.
yeah, and it's really the approach too, because look at Doug Christie. The Kings, what, they won 7 in a row? They won quite a few
7 in a row.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
7 in a row.
yeah, so it's definitely a different type of response. You're
Yeah.
seeing it, and I think Mike Brown, he's been coaching since 1997. He's been coaching since 97, so he's been in the league for a good minute, and he coached in that era where the coach, the hierarchy, was the coach first, then it was the star, then it was the co-star. But now in today's NBA, it's really the star, co-star, then the coach. That's how the hierarchy
Yeah,
goes.
the coach is never going to be prioritized because they're the most expandable one out of everyone else.
Yeah, but I mean, but at the end of the day,
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it went from star, it went from coach, star, and co-star to now it's star, co-star, then coach. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Because of course the coach is gonna have more of a say so than a guy coming off the bench. You know what I mean?
A coach was basically a second general manager at one point.
Yeah, it was the culture back then, because you could look at the old coaches that were kind of revered. They were very hard nosed, yelling at their players, and it seems like
Yeah.
that does not work anymore. Like the Bobby
I mean, you
Knights,
remember
that shit does not work anymore. Choking the
Phil
shit out
Phil
of your
used to just
players.
go to the Phil used to just shit on his players in the media.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he felt Kobe was too selfish, he used to go to the media and like, yeah, Kobe's too fucking selfish.
Yeah, you know what? That's but look at the reaction of Kobe, right? When he said that, Kobe didn't pass the ball during the Phoenix Suns playoff series when he got criticized. And then Kobe also sometimes he responded to Phil by doing exactly what he said, like what he said that he can't do. You know what I mean? Like what did Phil say? Phil said Kobe couldn't post up. He needed a
Yeah.
better post up game. Then all of a sudden, Kobe started off a season posting up for like the first 2 months, doing nothing but that. You know what I'm saying? But Kobe comes from that era where the coach was the first and primary general. You know what I'm saying? Then until he was about to retire, that's when the league made that transition, sort of in the
Yeah.
middle of it. Like I think the
But
league.
then,
Wait, hold on. I think the league made that transition when LeBron and Wade and Carmelo came into the league. That's when I think that transition happened.
but you also look at the situation with like Pascal Siakam and Nick Nurse a couple seasons ago, where Pascal was taking shots at or no, not Pascal. Nick Nurse was taking shots at Pascal. It became very controversial. Like, oh, what kind of coach this is? This player is out in public.
That's great, and the media too. It's a different generation of beat writers around these players, and a lot of them they have a lot of sympathy for the players. Like there's almost like no accountability, no motivation. It's almost like the media sometimes they approach the star of the team as if they're perfect, and it's like yo, he has to level up. Even though he's like the best player on the team, he has to keep leveling up if he wants to get better. But the media sometimes they're like, oh, the coach criticized him. Da-da. It's like, yo, of course, man, he got to get better. He's only like in his 4th year. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't make any sense, but it's definitely a generational shift among different facets of the NBA that's happening right now. I just think Mike Brown, he's almost like the last of the Mohegans in a way.
Yeah.
But you know, it's obvious that you know whatever motivation he was trying to give to Fox, it just kind of backfired.
I mean, even Durant, he had a lot of clashes with Kerr, even when Kerr used to give him a lot of shit.
Yeah, Durant is another one. Yeah, Durant is part of that, like Melo, LeBron. You know,
Dwight Howard.
Yeah, he's part of that. You're a rookie. You just came into the league. We instantly give you the keys to the franchise. When you look at guys like Kobe, he got to the Lakers. It was like, yo, you're coming behind Eddie Jones. You have to prove that you're better than him to get the minutes. You know what I mean? Like it was like that before. Not instantly you're giving all the shots, you're giving all the respect, and all the vets have to listen to you off rip. That's that LeBron, Melo, you know, Kevin Durant type of era. That happened in their era. Yeah, so it's a lot of transitions, but you think the Kings are about to really compete on a high level?
Nah, I mean, dude, they just got to be a playoff team, and I think Fox resigns. Unless Fox decides, like, I want to be like a first or second option somewhere else, because that's I don't really think Sacramento has a real first option, because I think him and Sabonis get interchanged, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and then the DeRozan situation. I mean, let's be realistic. He is nice, but sometimes just he's never really been proven to be a winner, and as he ages. You know, and again, this is something the Kings owner should have discussed with DeRozan as a possibility. I don't know how they're not looking down the road. DeRozan is not a young player.
No.
He's not a young player, so I don't know why it was never even in the cards for them to discuss, hey, if you sign here, it's a possibility, maybe not the first year, but the second year, you could be looking at a bench role.
Well, I think every team probably, like, I think that's probably what stood out for DeRozan anyways. I guarantee every other team probably told him, like, yo, we'll have you come off the bench.
Yeah, because DeRozan is a mid-range assassin, but we just never, even with the Spurs.
Dude, he's 35, 36.
And him coming off the bench shouldn't sound crazy.
No, it shouldn't. What wings can he guard? DeRozan was never known as, like, some great defender.
Yeah, and at the same time, you're looking at the Kings this season. You got Hertier and the other young guy. What's his name?
Keegan Murray.
Yeah, those guys are not shooting lights out.
Those guys are not shooting lights out, and you also don't have perimeter defense.
Yeah, it's a lot of holes, man. It's just
Way too many holes.
in a way, the Kings is sort of, man, the way they're running, as far as like their organization, is not far off from the Pelicans, man. Because even the Mike Brown firing, you fired the guy over the phone on the way to the airport.
Yeah.
Don't have the
Oh
balls
no,
to
dude!
look
You
him in
look
the
at
face.
DeMarcus Cousins. You look at the DeMarcus Cousin term. You look at this term. It hasn't been the brightest. I think the only redeeming part was what Sabonis trade. That's it.
Yeah.
And like Tyrese Halliburton's drafting. That's it. So I think the Sacramento Kings, they have a lot of, like, in the front office ownership is a huge problem for them. And it seemed like they were able to build like a decent culture with the whole beam the light and everyone getting excited. Um, Sabonis is a star, so it was really exciting to watch. But since then, it's been down the drain, which is a shame because I actually like Sacramento fan base.
Yeah, they have a great fan base, but sometimes with that owner, man, it really starts with the owner, man. Because let
Yeah,
me
that's
tell
what
you
I'm
this
saying.
quick,
It's from top to bottom.
yeah, let me tell you this quick story, yo. Did you ever hear about the guy that worked in the front office for the Kings that ended up stealing money from the arena?
No, I never heard of this.
So just a quick backstory. There was a guy, he was responsible for getting ads in the arena, right?
Yeah.
Where you see all the advertisements and the billboards and like the graphics, the digital graphics or whatever. So he basically got, he was part of the group that organized the deal with an insurance company to get their name as the arena name, right? So they had to pay, I think it's like a 10-year deal or whatever it was. They had to pay $20 million up front. So what the guy did in the office, he set up a sub bank account called like Sac Kings Inc., but it wasn't part of the Sacramento Kings. They wired him the 20 mil, and he took that money. He had that money transferred into a personal account. Nobody in the Kings organization even noticed it. The guy's plan was to take the money, buy a couple of houses or investments or whatever, and then put the money back, like flip it, take the profit himself and put the money back. He never put the money back. And then like he ended up getting a job with Pat Riley, right? In the Miami Heat. So when he was going down there, he accidentally left the paperwork in his desk. It took a girl that came in behind him. She was just curious. She was like, what is all this paper? What is this bank account? I don't see this bank account on file. And then she just, on her off time, because she was kind of into forensic accounting, she started looking it up and going deeper and deeper into the shit. She's like, what's going on here? Like, we don't have this bank account record. And then she's looking for that $20 million payment. She found out, like, okay, before she worked here, they're supposed to get a $20 million payment up front. She saw it nowhere in the books, and then she brought it up to the people, and then they finally looked into it. And then they realized, yo, they were supposed to get 20 mil. The guy wired it into his own account. Like, that's how reckless it's in there in Sacramento. That even them receiving payments, they don't even keep proper track of, bro. Like, that's how reckless that organization is. Like, there's no company that's supposed to receive $20 million and the money's getting wired to a different account from a personal workers. Like, that sounds crazy, but it is what it is.
Like, now I do wonder what's like their thinking process when they hire personnel, because that is beyond incompetency, bro. That's like, forget the New Orleans Pelicans. The Pelicans look like a fucking normal ass organization compared to that.
Yeah, and that story really went undercovered, man. Like, they because it's embarrassing. It's like, wait a minute, the name of the arena, they sent you payment for the name of the arena, like a bonus, and you did not even receive it. You didn't even check to see if you received it. Like, years went by, nobody noticed, and nobody would have never noticed if the girl just threw away the papers. Nobody would have noticed.
No, 100%, dude. That's just beyond my thinking, man.
Yeah,
like,
no,
holy shit. You have an article on that? I actually want to read that.
Yeah, you know what? I have it saved somewhere. I'm gonna send it to you.
Because that's something like, bro, that's something a mom and pop business or like not a multi-billion-dollar, sports team. You wouldn't expect them to have someone like skimming off the top. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's not even that. It's a multi-billion-dollar insurance company, health insurance company. Their name is on the arena right now as we speak. We're talking about them and the Sacramento Kings. They sent a payment and it ended up being someone's personal account. Someone's like personal a fake LLC. It was like Sack Kings Inc. And then the girl was like, we don't have a bank account with that. And she was like, where did the money get wired to? She saw all the receipts that the insurance company sent the bonus. And the whole time it went to someone's personal business account.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy, man. But I'm gonna send you that article. It's definitely a dope read. I'll probably include it in the link in the description below. But it really went underreported, man, because it was so embarrassing for the Kings. Very embarrassing.
Yeah, bro. Also, like, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like the Sacramento Kings, historically, they're just an incompetent organization, and I think credit to the fan base. You know what I mean? Like, the fan base seems to really ride for this team, and it sucks. Like I said, bro, I always enjoy teams like Oklahoma and Sacramento being good, is because you see like how fun the NBA is when these teams are good.
Yeah. Especially that 7-game series with the Warriors, man. That was really good.
That was fun, dude. They were fun. Like the Sacramento is a fun team. It's not really like the other LA teams where it's just vibrant. It's a bureaucracy city, so just good to see something going nice for them.
Yeah. But overall, I think it's really the owner. I think it's the owner.
Yeah, I think he's the owner. He's very incompetent. Though he's a sports fan, so I'll give him his flowers where it's due. But as an owner, I think maybe he does a little bit too much, or he's not strict enough. It's one of those two.
Yeah, or maybe he has other ventures. He didn't expect the maintenance level of owning a sports team. Might be that too.
Yeah.
Because
some owners are just rich. They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But like, yeah. So either he doesn't give a shit or he gives too much of a shit. Is like a weird position.
Man, to have the name of the arena, to have the payment go to someone else is crazy.
Yeah.
That's
that's
crazy.
incompetent as fuck.